Man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. All right, man. There's word on the curb. If you haven't heard, it seems as if the numbers for the pay-per-view between Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley has started to leak out. Now, no one knows officially what the numbers are. Let me put that out there. But there's estimations and guesstimations to be anywhere between 300 and 500,000, and it has some people stating that basically that this thing may have been a bust. And a lot of us fans, I just don't want us to be duped into that bullshit. You know what I mean? First and foremost, none of us is getting paid from no pay-per-view money. So us judging a fight based on what the numbers did is just straight ludicrous, man. I mean, yo, we ain't getting paid none of that shit. We just want to see a good fight. And that is what we got. We got a good fight, trilogy or not. You know what I mean? People running around here, oh, I didn't want to say it. Da, da, da. We got to understand. And it's really grinding my gears that people are comparing this fight to Mayweather and Berto's last fight and saying that, hey, Mayweather had his worst opponent and, supposed to have been his worst fight, and it still outsold the Pacquiao and Bradley fight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mayweather's last fight was billed as Mayweather's last fight. To be quite honest with you, in my opinion, it was unsuccessful. I didn't see Manny Pacquiao running around billing this as his last and final fight. He gave vague answers to say he will retire. I don't think he'll retire, but it was well known in the Mayweather-Berto build-up that this was Mayweather's final fight. This was the final show of Floyd Mayweather. So you would think in Mayweather's final fight, no matter who he's fighting, it's going to do crazy numbers. Well, it didn't. It did it. It showed the formula that Mayweather needs to fight someone with the fan base to have a successful pay-per-view. He broke records with guys who had fan bases that were bigger than his. Now, in Manny Pacquiao and in Bradley's case, this was the third fight between these two, ladies and gentlemen. A trilogy in which, by most consensus, by most fans, they felt as though that Manny Pacquiao won the first two, even though I don't agree to that. They felt as though he won the first two. So for it to be a fight that we've seen a couple times before, and most people already thought the outcome would be Pacquiao, it didn't do half bad. Despite all his controversies, the Nike thing, the anti-homosexual stuff, man, all that stuff that was surrounding him, this didn't do that bad. Now, Bob Arum, Top Rank, and HBO and all those, they may have miscalculated this fight. They may have overpaid the fighters, giving Manny Pacquiao $20 million, giving Timothy Bradley, $5 million. They may have miscalculated. But the fight did actually pretty well for it to be a trilogy of a fight that most people thought one fighter already won won the previous two. Not to mention, Timothy Bradley has a small fan base, but not pay-per-view worthy style fan base. He's fighting a guy who basically Manny Pacquiao's got to carry the whole card, as with Floyd Mayweather. Now, when Mayweather's numbers came out, I didn't bill it as an unsuccessful thing. If I did, it was because the fight was boring. I mean, I'm being real about it. I mean, Mayweather wants to charge this money and give you boring fights. At least with Pacquiao charging the money, there's some action and there's some explosiveness here. We're going to see some shit. We're going to see two fighters actually engaged. And we don't get that with Mayweather fights. People want to, oh, this thing was unsuccessful. Get out of here, man. I think this thing was very successful for what it did. It was a good fight. It was a great fight. It did pretty well, man. We all know that HBO was going through budget issues. We wonder why this fight was even on pay-per-view in the first place, and they're putting Terrence Crawford and Postol on pay-per-view. Those are not pay-per-view worthy fighters. I mean, I'm sorry, they're just not. They're good fighters, but not pay-per-view worthy fighters. But they're doing this because HBO is basically forcing Top Rank to fit some of the bill because they can't afford it right now. Don't act like this is a freaking secret. If you're a boxing fan, go look and do your research. That's the only reason. That's the reason that's this fight, as well as the Terrence Crawford fight, is on pay-per-view. It's because of budget cuts. So, I really feel as though, the thing is that I don't even think Mayweather feels this way. If you guys don't think Mayweather is looking at Pacquiao for a rematch, you are off of your rockers. That is the most profitable fight in boxing. Of course, that fight is still on the table. So if Pacquiao is such a bad attraction as everyone wants to say now, then why the fuck is Mayweather still looking at him and commenting on him? Why is that? I don't understand. Riddle me that. I'm sorry, y'all. For anyone who says this thing was a bust, off your rockers, man. This thing was successful by our standards, and from a business standpoint, they just miscalculated, man. There's no way in hell the Pacquiao should have got that much money. It's no way. $20 million? No way. They miscalculated. 15, maybe even 12, somewhere around there. We're talking. But anything out of that, man, you should have known what the thing was going to do. It was poorly promoted, poorly marketed. Floyd Mayweather is a walking promotional team. He promotes his fights very well. For his fight with Andre Berto to do what it was mainly through Mayweather's promotion and all the reckless shit he says. Not to mention coming off the Pacquiao fight, using that, talking about that fight as a promotional tool. He did that. So get out of here with that shit, man. Manny Pacquiao ain't that kind of guy. He's not loud. He's not outspoken. He's not a walking promoter. You know what I mean? That's something Mayweather does extremely well. Adrian Bronner also. But, I mean, I thought the fight was definitely a success from a fan's point of view. I thought it was a good fight. I appreciated the trilogy. I appreciated both fighters and what they brought to the table. It was a successful event in my eyes. We need to stop this bullshit, man. There isn't any other fighter. I mean, Triple G, he did a pay-per-view, and look what that did. That did piss poor numbers, and Triple G is like the hottest fighter out right now. So come on, man. For 37-year-old Pacquiao, a guy who's been away from the sport about a year, who did no marketing, no promotion, a guy who's humble as he is, a guy who's fighting a guy for the third time, didn't do half bad. Didn't do half bad at all. Not to mention he's fighting a guy who doesn't even promote himself either, who's a guy who's not a trash talker by far. At least Floyd and Berto try to drum up some controversy about some broad. I'm just saying, man, we need to cut it out, man. It was successful. We enjoyed the fight. Take it for what it is. Don't be a whiner and a complainer and say, oh, the pay-per-view numbers were low, so this thing was unsuccessful. Pacquiao and Bob Arum, they don't know what they're doing. That's bullshit. They gave us a great fight, great event, great undercard. You know what I mean? And I appreciated it. Streaming is at an all-time high, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you guys, and I hate to admit this, but I streamed the fight. So let's just keep it 1 milli. And I'm thinking about stop doing that shit because it really takes away from the sport. But that's another video. To the next video, Main Man Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man Made Man Boxing Forum. Wake up, folks. Boxing is doing pretty damn well. Those 300,000 or so buys is more than better than what anything in MMA is doing right now. Come on, man. Let's put it into perspective, man. Pacquiao is still the second highest grossing pay-per-view guy in boxing, if not first, to be honest with you. I haven't added all the numbers up, but I know if he's not first, he's definitely second. So, fuck that. To the next video. Peace out.